So welcome to season 4 of the Amorim 3-4-3 tactical sort of like rebuild that we're doing at Manchester United. The idea of signing kind of realistic players, and we've stuttered a little bit through the first few seasons. We've had 2 Champions League 4th place finishes. That means that in season 4 we're in Champions League. We've won 1 Carabao Cup, beating Liverpool, and we've just lost in the FA Cup final to Southampton. So we're kind of on the way. We've had some big changes this summer. Let's go and see who we've picked up in season 4. Okay, so first I thought we'd make a couple of little changes. We've always been tweaking this as we go, and we're going to make a couple of changes again. More importantly, now that kind of our Manchester United have been playing a little bit now, Dorgu is in, that they still, because of personnel, he's been using Garnacho out on this left-hand side, and what we're trying to create is Garnacho coming in off the wing onto his right foot, or a wide player, probably won't be Garnacho, and then having the complete wing back with still the shadow striker. We may change the rules in here by the end of the season. We'll keep tweaking, but that is kind of the basis that we're looking at this season. Now, transfers have been sad. I wanted to keep him. He had a year left in his deal. Look, they've come in and paid 60 million for him. I think the most disappointing thing is that he wanted to go. And we tried, I'll show you the conversation that I had with him when he wanted more money. And I thought, oh, he wants to negotiate. And no, that wasn't the case. He just wanted a little bit less than £1 million a week. And then he's gone to Al Hilal and he's got his £1 million a week. So we've got a little bit of money. We can kind of now look at potentially changing it. He wasn't well suited to the 2 attacking areas potentially now, especially going with a shadow striker and as a winger. It gives us the opportunity to really recruit something a little bit different for those roles. And that was it for the outs. Shea Lacey has gone, who's played a little bit for us. Segura is a bit of Segura is a Spanish regen that we had. And Chido Obi Martin has gone out again on loan. On the ins, we brought in Sam Johnston. We paid a little bit too much for him, £6 million, but I want him to be with us for the next 3 years, just being a third choice keeper. Helps with squad registration as well. Amadou Onana. I think Manchester United and us still really miss that really aggressive, physical number 8. Someone who can play deep, potentially play as a 6, but then move into the 8. I was hoping Man United would maybe look at him in the summer, but when ended up going Aston Villa. We have got him for a price of £56 million. We're gonna bring back the Volante. So he will hopefully then feature alongside that more defensive player. Now, talking of the defensive players, we've brought in Angelo Stila. I absolutely love this guy. Tremendous deep line playmaker. And the idea is that we've brought him in, by the way, we got his contract release clause of 49.5 million. Not been amazing at Stuttgart. If you're new to the video, the sort of like the series, we're not really looking too much attributes and kind of having a look at what Manchester United potentially could go out and sign realistically, and getting these players from not these top tier European clubs is definitely a thing that Manchester United should be doing, and he is a fantastic profile. I actually thought as well, to help us to be a little bit more attacking, we could then go down the route of changing this to a DLP. So we've now got a Volante and a DLP working together. Hopefully be a little bit more creative in deeper areas. We've gone with Agate up until this point. I do think, though, that we can get away with having someone like Castilla and Onana. I don't think that is a bad double pivot. And then a little bit of a wild card. He's not fancied in the game at all. 3-star he's recommended, 26-year-old Nemecha. I just really like 6'2". I thought he could play the Volante. He could then play the shadow striker as well. Dribbling 15, physical. I thought he'd be really good at bursting into the box. He's managed to get 1 goal so far this season. However, that may be a disappointing signing, but he can play in a variety of different roles. He can do probably both jobs in defence. He had a defensive midfield role. He can do the shadow striker role as well. The only thing that we're a little bit short on now, because we've changed the system, is that we're changing to a winger. So it does look like Xavi Simons is going to go out there, and Halseth Naipan will probably go out there as well. So I imagine them two will get a load of minutes out on that left-hand side. And that is it. I'm a little bit... The striker situation we need to get right. They're swapping a lot of games. I've gone with Højlund to start with, but 4 goals in 7. I think Osimhen's been out injured, but has started well in 2 and 3. Dorgu is now turning into a fantastic player. We may even, I've got it in my head as well, that at some point, we may go inverted wing back on attack. He does that a lot for Lecce. Would maybe not come in and help him build up. We're not talking like an inverted fullback in terms of coming in and really helping him build up in the middle areas. He would just make these really narrow runs and these more central runs and have the winger out. So it's something that we may look at certain points during the season. This tactic, by the way, will be available for the patrons. If you are enjoying the series and enjoying the content, please check out the Patreon. You get all the tactical downloads as part of your Patreon membership. So go check it out. I will call it we'll call it the Amorim Rebuild S4. There we go. All right, we're going to go through to the end of the season now. I said we've started the season okay. We are in 7. Well, we haven't started the season well at all. I'm telling lies. Clean sheets, though. Wolves, Southampton and Everton wins. Draws against Man City and Arsenal, which ain't bad. And then a defeat at Leeds and a defeat at Newcastle. So maybe the defeat against Leeds is probably a disappointing one. So maybe we're not a million miles off. We're back in the Champions League, so we'll see how we get on. Obviously, the further we go in that, the money will be better. Any money left? Yeah, we got a little bit, but we made a £50 million loss last year. So we just got to be careful with that. All right, guys, let's go on to the end of the season. Right, the end of the season is here. As you can see, we've got a little bit of money problems. £125 million in debt. We've made a loss of £45 million. There may be a bit of Champions League money to come. I don't think the final has been played. We're not in it, though. And it is a trophyless season for us. We've lost in the FA Cup final again. This time to Aston Villa. Going through to extra time. Ollie Watkins scoring in quite an evenish game. The league, though, we have finished third. Only 4 points off the top of the table. And in our last 5 games, we actually dropped 6 points. We lost 2. Who did we lose them to? Tottenham away and Fulham away. And we've just come off like a heavy run. But overall, good in terms of numbers. Is it our best points tally? I think it probably is. What do we get? 66, 61, 69. That's what she said. So 72. So we're growing. Only 36 conceded. 73 score, which is more than Arsenal. Only 8 defeats. The 8 defeats all coming away from home, so undefeated at home. And I think, look at that there as well. Apart from maybe you'd say the Tottenham and the Newcastle game, difficult place, we've lost to Fulham, Brentford, Wolves, Everton, Brighton and Leeds. Oh, just 2 of those would have given us the title. So we're not far off, are we? We are not far off at all. The Champions League hasn't finished yet, but it did finish at the quarter-final stage for us. Losing 7-2 on aggregate, proper put to the sword as well. But we had a decent look. Once again, 2.02 XG, but we didn't score till the 85th minute. Yeah. In the big games, we're just coming out worse off, unfortunately. How did we do in the league stage? We knocked out Sporting in the last 16. We didn't play in the knockout, so we must have done all right. We actually finished 4th. 8 games, 6 wins. Wolfsburg, Shakhtar, Juventus, Sporting, Anderlecht and Salzburg. 1 draw home against Monaco. And then 1 defeat away against Atletico Madrid. So that is promising. How did the players do? Now, halfway through the season, I did make a little tweak. We did attempt to do something a little bit different. So I am going to save this tactic because I'm quite happy with this one, actually. We're going to call this the 4.5 for you Patreons, right? We wanted to recreate that inverted run. Now, the only thing we get is he kind of sits in the half spaces still a little bit and kind of tries to help with build-up. I thought it would be more dynamic. So I think for next season, we're going to change that to like a complete wing-back on attack. And then I've also just changed Mario's position as well. I think what I'm trying to do is to be a little bit more creative in sort of like the midfield area and deeper positions. And that it doesn't necessarily go and stand up there straight away. Try and be a little bit more of an option on the ball. We've also switched over the deep line playmaker and the Volante because I thought Diallo was going to go in there. So let's then have Onana kind of taking that space. Simmons, the winger, is playing to cut inside. So we was going to come in there. So I didn't want the Volante there to kind of get in the way of the winger. So that's why we've swapped that across. And I think, to be fair, it's worked pretty well. Like, we've had a horrendous April and May where it looks like we've just run out of legs. But up until that point, we looked really good, defeat. We've had some good wins, though, like Chelsea, Liverpool were beating the big boys. We started to score a few more goals, but not as many clean sheets. As you can see, who were the star performers? So Alanga's not played, but Rasmus Højlund has had a tremendous season. He's finally scoring his goals. 34 starts, 50 appearances altogether, including subs, and 34 goals. He is now the man. We have actually changed the role to poacher as well, just so he stays high and long and pretty much central. Diallo has had a really good season. kind of playing as that shadow striker. He has had a really good season, 16 and 13. What I've done is I've not really simulated this season. I've just played quick instant results. So I've been able to pick the teams a little bit. Tend to, when I do like simulations, Diallo just drifts out the side straight away. Decent season as well for Jean-Marie on that right-hand side. 17 assists and 3 goals. Anyone else down there? Xavi Simons has done okay. He's not been an amazing signing for us, but better than last season, I suppose. And Naipan is growing into his role. I think we really need to make more out of him next season. Any players that I'm disappointed, obviously, Garnacho is now leaving on a free transfer. I did try and sign him a new contract just so he couldn't go, but once he went to that and he decided very early on he was going to leave, I thought, well, I'm not going to play him in those sort of like winger roles. We might try and get something out of Xavi Simons. And Agate has barely played, so we are going to transfer list to him as well. We've gone with, obviously, DLP. He doesn't suit either role. We'll probably get a nice little bit of money for him. Any players, other players potentially leaving? No. I think we've now got to the point where it's just trying to find those key roles. I do still think we need to sign someone in a winger, and then we may look at potentially a defender with De Ligt. I think De Ligt's the oldest. Yeah, 28. He's going to be 29 at the start of the year. We don't have to do anything yet. That's still relatively young. But I think we're going to be pretty quiet. How much money? They've given us 70 million. That'll probably go up to well over 100 when we make a couple of sales. So probably enough to get a couple more in season 5, which is going to be the last season. All right. Hopefully we can win a trophy to finish in season 5. If we don't, I will be leaving the link for the Patreons as well, so they can have a go at trying to win a trophy quicker than me, and they can hopefully then carry on the save. That's the idea. You will take over as me as manager, so that'll be available for the Patreons. Brand new series, classic Let's Play content. We're doing my York City save, and that is starting next week on Tuesday. So make sure you subscribe. Thank you for watching. Final season of my Amorim rebuild is out tomorrow.